right, traders, welcome back to my A plus setups. Man, last week it started off kind of rocky, shaky, choppy, but ended the week strong. We ended the week strong, and you see the dollar index always, as always, start with the dollar index. Price started the week with another move down, like I anticipated, and then we came to this level, which I was identifying as a breaker bounce area here, right? And we held support. So we can see here on the weekly, we formed a nice strong close, really looking like a morning star, really. And if we look to the left, right, this was a major top in the past. So the fact that we found support here could be significant for a potential even bigger move to the upside. And we have NFP this week, so it's going to be interesting to see how, if the dollar holds. You see this monthly candle was about to close at the recording of this video in about an hour. So we got the first coming. This could potentially be a retest to go higher. We could potentially see that to head towards this supply level up here. So that we do have potential to see that. But what I like to do is I like to take it week by week, and we just follow and trade in line with structure. So going into this week, the way things ended, even though it's NFP, I'm still leaning towards a bullish bias on the dollar index. We can see we continued up, we broke above structure. Now, of course, we do have to be mindful of these levels we see here to the left. But even looking at this trend, price did just shift bullish. So with that, I mean, maybe give some type of pullback first, but I am looking for another wave up. All right. Now I'm going to be watching to see how price react, at this lower high level. But if it continues up and breaks through there, then we can see this at least head back to that high. All right. So I'm going to see how things play out. And we're just going to trade in line with structure when it comes to the dollar pairs and everything as well. So here on GU, price finally gave us that move down I was looking for. So I was looking for this early in the week. This move we got right here. I was a bit early over here, right? But I was anticipating price to top out here, because if we look to the left, right, this is a previous level where price had a big fall in the past. So we got that nice supply area, and price came to that same level, spiked through a bit and then dropped. So here on the daily, it actually printed, like an evening star right here, and then it continued down. All right. So I actually called this signal in the VIP. All right. It hit our first take profit, and it came up just shy of our second TP of 1.255. All right. So going into this week, I'm still bearish on this, but what I want to see is I want to see more of a breakdown of this structure level. So here we are now, looking at this level. We came down to this minor level of support. All right. So what I want to see is I want to see more of a break at this level. And with the break at this level, look for this to continue to give us another wave down. So looking at where we could be headed, I'm looking at this area here, right? Down towards 1.25. All right. This is a significant area. And this could be an area where it could come down and bounce. All right. But if it comes down and holds support, that can be another wave up. And of course, it depends on what the dollar index is going to do as well. Now, if we continue and break through this, then that can be a sign that we could head even lower. All right. So for now, that's just the level that I would look towards, is heading towards potentially 1.25. We can even take this trend line. It could pretty much line up with this at the retest of this structure level. So I wanted to cover NZDUSD real quick, because this was a real solid signal, that I gave in VIP. You can see NZD NU came to this same level right here, came to this level where price had this level of supply here, right? So or some will call it order block, but the same supply breakdown is where we saw it came here, rejected. Now, where we caught the signal is just pure basic structure. All right. So when I looked at this level here, right, minor level of support, right, it was resistance over here, a nice supply top. So when I saw price break structure, right, ideally on the 4-hour, we got this break of structure below here. Once I saw that, called the sell limit on this retest, we caught that. Boom, that gave us the dump. So we hit our targets for a 1 and 2 risk to reward and dropped even lower. That ended up dropping about 100 pips. All right. So this is a real simple way of trading structure. Now, looking at the weekly, man, that's a real big evening star close. So this could potentially come down a bit further. But but I'm still mindful of this major demand level. But now, if the dollar does continue bullish, we could see another wave down on this. All right, so really, from this perspective, you could just look for pullbacks, pullback opportunities, for another wave down. All right. But this is already such a big move down. So I will be focused on other dollar pairs, but just wanted to show how a simple break and retest can really give you a solid result. All right. So moving on to Euro USD, we can also see we got a nice rejection at the retest of this previous level of demand. Price came to that same level, and we can see it topped out and gave us that big rejection. So it rejected through that level, which is a good sign. So now looking at the daily, right, we got a nice daily dump, right? It was moving, created a bit of a channel a bit, and then had that big breakout. So once I saw this move came in, and it came in with news, it was ranging up here a bit, right? And then we see we got this engulfing candle. You could have looked for a slight pullback, but after that, we just dumped. So we broke this level of structure here. So this was really an opportunity here as well. You see here, this was a nice resistant or supply top right there, turn support, right? So these are the type of levels you look for. Price broke below it, retested it, and you can see it continued to dump right here. So I'm still looking for more downside going into this coming trading week. You can see we got a nice daily close below this level as well. So what I'll be looking for, I'm looking at the next potential levels. I'm looking at a level like this, but also potentially this level here. All right. So looking at that level, and when I'm looking at that daily and 4-hour close below, I want to see a continuation down. So as far as opportunities, I would say look for a pullback. So we got the breakdown, maybe get like a pullback early in the week, slight pullback, and look for another wave down towards these support lows. All right. So looking at gold had a real big dump. So really when it started was up here, when price topped out up here. All right. It was up here. Of course, we was in this big uptrend. But then once we broke this structure level right here, that was a sign of another bigger move down. So when it broke through here, this was really the opportunity on this retest. This was opportunity to go short. And you can see it continued to dump. All right. Now, I would have looked for it to come on that dump to come to now this level of structure, this level of demand. All right. So you're watching that level. So once it broke that level, which was here, it actually broke that too. This was another opportunity from a technical perspective. And this is all just basic price action and market structure. So you can see here, this 4-hour candle technically broke below that level. So on a break below that level, it was just retesting basically that breakdown. So it retested a bit of that 4-hour break, and then it continued to dump. All right. So this could be setting up for an even bigger move down, because now it's pulling back now. It could pull back some more in the, next week and look for another wave down. Because if I'm looking at this on the weekly, if we look at this on the weekly is a bearish engulfing. All right. So looking at it from that perspective, if the dollar continues bullish, right, with that strong weekly close and looking at bullish price action, this gold could be setting up to come and retest this area. All right. Looking at this area, this will be an interesting point. If we could reach back down here, it's still in the uptrend. So if it comes back down there, gold is likely going to give us something like this. If it want to come back to this level, I could see gold doing this, right? Retest and then continue. So that's what I'm potentially looking for on gold. So moving on to the yen pairs, starting with GJ. So we can see here on GJ, this week has been real. It's been ranging crazy. Like this whole week, like look at this. Pretty much this whole week on GJ has been ranging. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 4 days of just straight up and down choppy price action. So, I started off taking a few L's actually messing around with the yen, because it was ranging the whole week. But then it came, we came into this level and price found some support and it bounced. So looking at this daily rejection, it could be setting up. That could be a sign that we're setting up for a move up. Also looking to the left, this is a strong wick rejection, a wick in the past from there as well. That was a major bottom setting up for a demand. So this could be a level we see a bigger pump. So what I would be looking for or looking at earlier in the week is maybe more of a pullback of this for that next wave up. Or if we look at this, let's say on a 4 hour, maybe slight pullback first, either a slight pullback first or looking for a break above this level, a break above basically 190. If you get a break above there, that could be a good sign. Then maybe look for a pullback or a retest and look to take up higher towards 191 or potentially higher. So I'm going to be patient with yen because yen has been real choppy, depending on what the JPY index does as well. So we'll see how things play out. But with this type of daily rejection, normally I would expect, especially from this demand level, I would expect price to continue to give us a bigger wave up. Now, looking at EJ, pretty much the same thing. We're coming around. We're in this major demand. So that's why I'll be careful selling at this level because, it could really pump at any time, right? This is a level we could see here in the past, big pump to the upside. So with that in mind, it could be setting up for that. So looking at what it's doing now, it rejected from this level. It came down, pretty much grabbed liquidity. We see here, and then it rejected. So this daily candle was still a bit indecisive, you know what I mean? But looking at this, I would like to see a break back above this level because we look to the left. This is still a demand area within here. So if we get a nice firm break back above structure, then we can catch the potential pullback or retest, potentially higher towards 158 to 159. That's something I would be looking for on EJ. So I'm just gonna I'm going to be patient here. Plus, when we come towards the end of the month, it's a lot of this type of choppy price action that we could sometimes get. But it looks like March is setting up to be a real solid month. So we'll see how things line up. So same thing here on CHFJPY. We can see, man, we in these major demand levels, right? Last time price was here, this was a major pump. So this was the low of late about September last year. So we can see here, it came to this level here early 2025 and pumped again, right? Initially, it came down here, held support with that bullish engulfing, gave a move up, and now we're retesting this level. So this could be on the daily potential double bottom, right? Because now this daily just gave us a little rejection there as well. So I'm interested to see how this level hold going into next week. The first week of March. So looking at this, I do like for this to potentially set up for another wave up. So either we could look for something like maybe one more slight pullback. I would like to see maybe another pullback first, give me a better risk to reward. But if not, if this continues to just break above structure, we could look for pullback opportunities to ride this up towards, anywhere towards 168, 168.5 around that structure level. So that's something I'll be looking for on CHFJPY. And looking at UJ, so UJ, man, gave a nice solid pump from this level. We could see, again, at this major level of demand. So in the past, we could see that this was a nice area where it had a supply top, right? Eventually here, it turned demand, turned into support, big pump to the upside. So initially, price broke below this level a bit, all right? But we could see that was a false breakout. We broke below here, right? Even with a nice daily candle bearish engulfing, but that was a false breakout, turned around. So there on the daily, it actually gave that morning star, right? So this was actually opportunity. You see this type of price action on the daily. You see that was a false breakout, morning star right there formed. I wish I was looking at this because this gave a nice pullback a bit of that morning star and then gave a nice move to the upside, man. So looking at this, I'll still be looking for a potential bigger move up on UJ. I would just need to see some type of pullback first. Ideally, if I want to look to catch this, it formed also a bit of a inverted head and shoulders with the head, left shoulder, right shoulder, right. So I would want to see some type of slight pullback first, maybe a slight pullback, and then look to catch it. But this could just continue from here and moving towards 151, 151.5 ish or higher within this structure level. So that's something I would look for on UJ.